Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com, and today, thanks to photosphera.com, I'm going to present you the Flash FV150. Let's start. This unit is the FV150 and there's also an FV200. As you can guess, one is 50 watts and the other one is 200 watts. These are called hybrid flashes because you can actually do both continuous lighting or flash lighting. As you can see, there's an LED light in there. So I will tell you a bit more about the characteristic, how it works, and also my opinion about who is it for, because some people are asking if it's for them or not. So I will tell you when I think it's okay and when I think it's maybe not okay. So let's carry on. Well, this is the first time I use a Godox flash that plugs into the wall. Normally I always use the battery ones, the AD200, AD200 Pro. I made a review of both and also review of the AD600. And now I'm going to plug this in. Well, before plugging, I'll show you. You have a screen and some buttons to control. On the front, you have a ball that's included, a reflector. I take it out. This is a bow mount, so you could use any softbox. Here you have the LED light. I put it here. Okay. Then here you can actually orient it up, down, all this. Okay. And below you can see there is a fan here and also an umbrella holder. Okay. I'll put it here. So now I'm going to show you how it works, or try to show you how it works. Okay, it's a bit confusing, I tell you already. Okay, so first you switch on, and depending on what you're going to use, if you're going to use sorry, I'll take this out. If you're going to use continuous light, you have a remote control that is included, and then if you're going to use as a flash that make lighting, then you need a trigger. I'm going to use an X2T to show you. Okay, so first of all, here you have a button here, so you're going to decide first to switch on here. Okay, you saw it, I just made it. Here you have a button that decides if you're going to light in continuous light with LED. It's always LED, but they call it LED when it's continuous. Otherwise, you have a small lighting when you're using as a flash with lighting. Then you're going to pick a group and a channel if you're using the trigger. Okay, so if you click here once, then you turn this wheel and you can select the group. Okay, and if you keep pressed, then you have the channel that is moving. Same thing, you select. I'm on 16 because my trigger is on 16. Okay, so then it's okay. Then you can actually trigger with this. Okay, I trigger right now. As you can see, I trigger. I'm going to switch off the modeling light. I'll explain it to you after. Okay, but then I can trigger, no problem. Okay, now here you can have a modeling light. You can switch it on here. Okay, you will switch it on in case you would actually use the flash port, the sync port here, and trigger with the cable instead of the trigger. If you're going to trigger with the trigger, switch it off, switch on the modeling light on your trigger here, keep pressed. Okay, it's on. Okay, and then you want to change the power of the modeling light. You have to change it on this, on the remote control. Problem: the remote control actually is going from 1 to 5% to 100%, but then it's not continuous. If you want to go from 5 to 100%, you have to do 95 clicks. So this is seriously a nightmare. It's a lot faster to move here the power. Okay, now as you can see, I'm going to switch on the modeling light so it doesn't bother us. Okay, here I can turn the wheel here and actually change the power. It goes from 100% at 1.1 down to 1/16 of power. If you go lower, it goes off. But if you're actually using your trigger to do that, select, I move here. As you can see, it is changing. Okay, changing here and there. But then if I go down, when I get to 1/16 of power, if I go down, nothing happened here because the minimum is 1/16. But here I may be on 1/64 of power, and I think something is wrong. No, nothing is wrong. Just your trigger is going a lot further than your flash. So when you're under 1/16 of power, you know you cannot go any further. So if you go further on the trigger, nothing will happen, okay? So that's a bit confusing, honestly. Then what is really confusing is when you are actually using the modeling light, okay, it doesn't appear to be that clear that the modeling power is actually changing, honestly. So what I don't understand is that if I change power here, the power is not proportional. The ratio is not the same. I've tried the menu, I don't understand how it works. I've investigated, I cannot find a solution, okay? So what I think most people who use it as a flash with lighting will actually leave the modeling light on at the same power all the time. But although they put the power of the flash higher, the modeling light stays the same unless you actually physically change the button here, because from here I could not make it, okay? Maybe it's possible, I could not make it. I went to menu, there's P, I don't know what it is, I cannot find it, it's not explained, I could not fix it, okay? But it doesn't matter to give my opinion about the flash. Now let's say we want to do continuous light, okay? I press here on LEDs, and then same thing, I can actually change the power here, okay, as you can see, and I can also change it here, okay, 40, and it takes a while to update, but it does not update until you release your finger. I release, right now it changed to 54, but now let's go, I press down, every time if I press 50 clicks to go 50% lower, okay, you see, it doesn't refresh at the same time, so you have to lift your finger so you actually see the difference. It takes like half a second, you know, so it's very hard to make it in real time to realize how it works. So I would say this is a really confusing to use it, honestly. And then but if you're going to use video, the good thing, you can actually set it and then you press and change the power and then wait a second. But if you're going to use modeling light while using it as a flash with lighting, it's really confusing, honestly. And then here you have the option to have effects. So I'm going to switch off the modeling light, okay? And then in this case you have some effects. As you can see, it's like I turn, I've got some kind of lightning storm like this, or electric light bulb that is not working properly, and there are several things like this. Honestly, I don't know who wants to use these effects because it didn't look too good to me. I've seen some lot better effects that really looks like lighting. I know some people like that, but I'm not convinced this is great to use it, okay? So basically this is how the flash is working. Basically, I'm sure I forget maybe a few things, but I think I've shown enough to give you an idea. Now I'm going to give you my opinion about the flash itself and how to use it, but more than how to use it, who could use it and what for, and what I think is good and what I think is not that good, okay? In theory, this is the best flash you can buy. Why? Because it's hybrid, so it would do everything for video and everything, well, continuous light, although you can use it for products. You don't need to use only lighting for products. You can use continuous light, and also it stands as a studio flash. Okay, so in theory it is really good, but then we get to the reality, and I'm going to tell you my opinion. Well, first, it is really confusing to have this remote trigger for one thing, and then you have your trigger for the flash, this for a lamp and or for continuous lighting. This is a bit confusing. It doesn't respond exactly as you want, doesn't work as I want. It's not really practical, honestly. The build quality is okay. It's plastic, but I think it's okay. But beware that the small dent here, when you're going to tilt it like this, you really need to unscrew properly, otherwise the dents are going to hit each other. There's a small plastic in there, but it is really old-fashioned, and I think the quality is not that good in this part. So if you're careful, there's no problem. But if you really force it, you're going to break it really fast. So it's important to really move it with care and really unscrew and then fix it again after, okay? But if you force it, then you're going to probably damage the dent really fast. The special effects, I think they're useless, because I've seen special effects on other flashes and they were a lot better than this. I would never use it, okay? They put it there, but I don't know why you would use them. It's really limited, okay? Well, It also does HSS, high sync for flash. It means that if you go over your sync possibility of your camera, you can actually go high sync when you're in the flash mode and lighting mode. But 150 watts is too little to actually use high sync properly. So it means that you will be able to trigger at 1/8,000th of a second if you want, but then the power will be so little with 150 watts that it will be really, it will dim the light anyway. So I would not use high sync with this flash. I would go up to what your camera actually lets you do without high sync, and that's it. I think the HSS is, it's not that it doesn't work, it's simply that there is not enough power for that. I mean, the system synchronized, okay, but it is not enough power to actually cope with that. If we speak about video, I think the fan is too noisy. If you actually do video with products or things you are not actually grabbing the ambient sound, there's no problem. But if you're going to do interviews, that could be a problem. I'm going to switch it on, maybe you hear it, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but let's do it. Okay, so I think if it's a bit away and you're using a lapel microphone, you probably will not hear it. But if you're going to use 2 or 3 units like this to properly light the place, then you will hear it definitely. So I think for interviews there are other options like the SK series by Godox, SK60, SK120, SK150. I think, I can't remember, that are really continuous lighting with a fan that is make less noise. I think these are better option, honestly. There's also a bigger problem. You actually realize that although it makes a lighting and you would think it's going to work like a studio flash, actually the lighting is too long, so it does not freeze action, doesn't freeze enough. So if you're doing product photography or portrait and the person is standing like this, there's no problem. But if you're doing kids photography or the typical thing, you want to move the hair of a girl, I don't have much hair, but someone has a lot of hair, like it's not going to freeze, you know. So I think that's no good for this. It's really limited to still photography, and no one is actually moving a bit in there because you will not freeze the action. The light quality is really good. You have a CRI 96 plus, which is fine, well, it's very good. You have 5600 Kelvin. This is fixed. It looks like you can actually change it. In there you cannot, and on the remote control you can actually change the Kelvin here, but it doesn't do anything there. I think it's because this remote control is common to other product by Godox, and this probably you have this possibility here, but you will not actually be able to change anything in there. Okay, the Kelvin are fixed at 5600 Kelvin. The remote control is really slow, and I think I said at the beginning, it's really a mess to use it. It's not practical. And this anti-flickering system, it works really fine. I had no flickering problem. I tested some video, I had no problem, so it's okay. So it's hard to say who this flash is for. I think I would limit it as a flash, not speak about video, as a flash I would limit it to portrait and products more than anything that may move, okay, because you will not freeze. And it means that if you actually want to use this flash just for photography, I think you're better off getting an AD200 or AD400. That will be a lot better. AD400 is similarly priced to this. And if you want to do some video, I would go for video light that actually make less noise, like the SK series. So who is this flash for? Well, I think this is for someone who has a low budget and cannot afford to have two flashes, two kind of lighting, one for photography and one for video. So it gets that, okay? But if you actually can afford to have a specialized tool, a proper studio flash, whether this is an AD400 or AD200 or two AD200, you're better off than this. And if you want to do video, I think there are other options. Within Godox brand, there are other options. So it's only if you cannot afford to have both kind of lighting, and you do need to do continuous lighting and flash lighting, that I would get this. Otherwise I would go for other product by Godox. So I must say, this product is probably among all the Godox product I've tested. I've recommended many Godox product, and this is the first time I am so, I would say, disappointed. I really thought this idea was great, of an hybrid flash that would fix two necessity at the same time, video and photography. And the reality that I don't get, I get some of it, but I don't get a complete solution. So actually, it's really for people who cannot afford to have two kind of lighting. Otherwise, go for something really specialized. You will be more happy than this. And is the product good? Well, I would say it's good for what I say. If you cannot spend more, so you will have to accept its limit and work within these limits. But I think this product, I've seen a lot more better products by Godox than this one. I'm disappointed. I didn't expect it. Actually, I've had the flash for 2 weeks to be able to analyze it. I tried in several situations all this, and I get to this conclusion. But normally I don't need to try so long, but I needed to try longer because I want to make sure my opinion was this one. Okay, I was not mistaking something or misunderstanding something, you know. But honestly, it is my opinion. If you can afford specialized tools, will be better than this hybrid flash. Well, that's it. Thank you very much, Photosura, for lending me the flash. Thank you to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a small button down here and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, you get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my gear on Amazon, and also links to other part of my YouTube channel, and also leave you a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make me a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.